Good Tuesday morning, everybody. This is Casey Orange on the only podcast that's as shitty as a Tuesday morning. This is a Tuesday morning podcast, November 7th. It's around 7 o'clock in the morning here in Louisville, Kentucky. 40 degrees. And I'm enjoying a nice cup of this K-Cup 8 o'clock coffee. I think you get it at a Target. That's where we got it from. I don't know if you can get it everywhere else, but what's really particularly awesome about this is I'm using the Reese Cup Delights Creamer, which is really good. I enjoyed the Almond Joy, but I found myself getting like burnout on it too fast. But this is my first time trying this, and I mean, you know, it's I can see myself getting tired of that. It's got a nice chocolate velvety kind of taste. It doesn't taste like a Reese Cup at all, but it has just enough sweet. And if I didn't see the Reese's logo on there, I would probably say it just tastes like some type of chocolate creamer, mildly chocolate creamer. Overall, it's pretty good. I'm obviously still half asleep. I've just got on the internet today. I just wanted to check all the latest news and stuff. I don't know how people feel about the Texas shooting. I think Austin, Texas, about the guy that walked in and killed 20-something people. Apparently there was warning signs. Obviously, he was involved in some type of domestic dispute / abuse. Beat up an infant. Also had a girlfriend that was like 13 when he was like 18. I don't know. It's very weird. There's all the warning signs of a person that probably shouldn't own a gun, and he signed up for to purchase firearms and went through the background check. Nothing popped up, so it's kind of crazy. I don't know. It's sad because this happened because he fired 450 rounds of bullets in a church because he is an open atheist, which I don't know. It used to be kind of cool to I don't know. To me, it's one of those forms that you take after you reject religion is atheism, because you're at that stage you're thinking that the Bible isn't real, which if you still believe that, it's fine. But that's one stage, that leads to atheism. But I kind of grew out of that because I've come to the conclusion that most atheists are the biggest pieces of shit assholes that I know. They're quick to denounce any religion in front of you quicker than any Christian would. Which is kind of weird and hypocritical, because you figure that a Christian will be the one to thump a Bible and tell you that, get right with Jesus. But an atheist, they're even quicker on their feet. They just for no reason. It's like those vegan memes, like there'd be a car crash, but someone but the person will crawl the car crash just to tell someone that they're vegan. Same way with atheists. So also, it's kind of their faith is rooted in science and philosophy, which is fine. I have nothing per se against atheists. It's just not my thing. But I like nobility. I don't like chaos. I don't know. I like having a good moral compass. Okay, getting way off track here. Apparently the gunman was atheist, and I don't know. All the warning signs were there, and I don't think. I don't know. The laws put in place wouldn't have changed anything. If someone's going to kill somebody, they're just going to do it. Because if you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have the guns. It's that kind of philosophy. But damn, yeah, this coffee is pretty good. Kind of gives me something to look forward to. I only slept for about 4.5 hours because, I don't know, here lately, I'm 30. Oh, man, I'm 32. Fuck. I don't know. I've noticed since I've gotten older, when it rains, like, all the joints I have problems with, like my right leg has really bad arthritis, and last night it just throbbed like a motherfucker. And I didn't want to take anything because it would have kept me up even longer than I was. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't like taking medication for pain because then you start relying on it, and then next thing you know, you took the whole bottle. So fuck that. But yeah, didn't really sleep that well. So which makes it perfect for a Tuesday morning because who in the fuck enjoys Tuesday? And speaking of that, I think isn't there a store called Tuesday Morning? Let's see here. I think there is. And who in the fuck thought of that? Yeah, Tuesday Morning. I think people seen them. I think there's one in Orangeburg. There's a lot of them apparently here. I want to know the history. Why? Why would someone name their store after one of the shittiest days of the week? Actually, not one. The shittiest day of the week. Because at least Wednesday's hump day. It's the middle of the week. Thursday's the day before Friday. I mean, come on. I mean, let's see here. Tuesday Morning. The brief history of that store. Our roots were planted in 1974 when founder Lloyd Ross held his first garage sale. Ross decided on Tuesday Morning as the company name because it is the first positive day of the week. What a load of shit. Lloyd Ross is a fucking piece of shit. That is not the first positive day of the week. I know it's different views here, world views, but it seems like every Tuesday I've ever experienced have been pretty shitty. And that's why I want to do a podcast about it, because this is pretty much the lowest point of anyone's week to me. And fucking Lloyd Ross must have been doing some type of medication. And fuck that. Yeah, fuck Tuesday morning at the store. Fuck Tuesdays mornings in general, or Tuesdays in general. But something positive. The Nintendo Switch is doing gangbuster numbers, which is awesome. Because I'm a Nintendo-tard. I'm a Nintendo fanboy, loyalist. Also, Sony. I mean, I love Sony and Nintendo. I just love Nintendo just a little bit more, though. Mario Odyssey just came out last week. Has it been a week? Might have been 2 weeks. I don't know. It came out the 27th, I think. I don't know. But right now, the Switch... let's see here. Yeah, the Nintendo Switch is on pace to ship 17 million. Might sell 17 million in its whole year span, this whole quarter since it's been released. 1.1 million units have apparently been sold in the U.S., making Super Mario Odyssey the fastest selling Mario game ever. Whoa. Damn. I want to play that game so bad. I know a lot of non-Nintendo fans also want to play this game too. It looks amazing. It looks like a mixture between Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy, which I love both of those games. I love them so much. Odyssey especially, as those games are underrated. I say that just because you don't hear it mentioned that often. A lot of people just bring up Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, which I hated Mario Sunshine for the longest time. And I just now got into it. It's been out since 2002. Alan bought it. That's the first Mario game we ever got rid of, which, if that says something, because we couldn't grasp the concept of the flood system. But now, just like a year or so later, I fucking love it. I fucking love that game. I understand the flood system. Now my least favorite parts, because it used to be my favorite parts were the underground levels with the acapella Mario music playing without flood. That used to be my favorite because it was like, fuck that thing. Now I hate I don't hate it, but I just don't like the non-flood levels because you rely so much on all the skills that you get with flood. Mario Galaxy is perfect. I think that moves a lot of units for the Wii, the original Wii, and I think the Switch will get close to the Wii numbers, but I don't know. The Wii, man, that thing was fucking chaotic. Odyssey's putting asses in the seats, per se, but so was Breath of the Wild. Those are two knockouts right there. Also, Mario Kart Deluxe and Splatoon. I mean, Nintendo's killing it, and here, I guess later on this month, we're going to have Doom and Elder Scrolls, fucking Skyrim, and Rocket League, and LA Noire. And don't forget all the crazy indie games that come out. So I don't know. I want to switch really bad. Hopefully it's Christmas. I'll get the bundle. Because fucking A, it's fucking Mario, dude. I mean, come on. First time I felt this, like, giddy and energetic about a Mario game since, yeah, I guess, well, Mario Galaxy on the Wii, because a lot of people hated on the Wii for the longest time. I was a big fan. Al and I waited at a Walmart. We're the first people in Muhlenberg County, in general, to have a Wii. And I love it, still defend it. Still defend it. I don't know, moving on here. Monday Night Football happened. Don't watch football. Don't really give a shit too much, especially this year. I'm taking a knee towards the NFL, so because I have my own personal, I don't know, moral compass I need to uphold. You know, I'm not going to stand up for the NFL when it comes on. But yeah, the Detroit Lions beat the fucking Packers, though. That's kind of weird. I don't know what kind of season the Packers are having, but I remember the Detroit Lions have been they've been shitty for like a decade or so. I don't know. I always get them confused with Miami Dolphins being some of the two of the worst teams ever in the past decade. I don't know. A lot of football stuff going on here. I guess if we're going to talk about sports, might as well talk about something that I thoroughly enjoy. It's the quasi-sport of professional wrestling. Tonight, the 30 for 30 for Nature Boy, Ric Flair, comes on at 10 o'clock. Been hyped for that. I get hyped for 30 for 30s. The last 30 for 30 I was hyped for was the Rick Pitino. No, not Rick Pitino. That would be good now. But no, John Calipari, 30 for 30 was pretty good. That's the first one I actually set a date for to make sure I was doing nothing. I had a case of beer and I'll watch that motherfucker. I love 30 for 30. Most of the time they're good stories. Standout ones I really enjoy is the Bo Jackson one. That's a really good 30 for 30. The 1985 Bears. Is it 85? Yeah. With Ditka, and the fridge and all that. I don't know. Ric Flair is amazing. I would say he is the greatest of all time. I would put him in number one. Number two, I'll put Hogan. I mean, that to me, there's no doubting those two. There's no denying their effect on the sport. But Ric Flair was a territory darling, awesome worker, great on the mic, lived the lifestyle, had to. So it's going to be amazing to watch that 30 for 30. And speaking of wrestling, the WWE's been fucking up, man. They've been fucking up the whole year. They got fucked up last year. Now, how can you have the greatest roster that they've ever had, probably period, besides when they absorbed ECW and WCW at the time, and still suck ass? How can it still be the most boring product you can ever watch? And, because, how can you have Finn Balor, AJ Styles, I don't know, even Seth Rollins? Well, a lot of good young talent. I mean, these are knockouts. These are killers. Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar, this AAA dudes, and still not put asses in the seats. And I'm not buying the meningitis thing. With Roman Reigns, why is he still out? Bray Wyatt, all these wrestlers. I don't know if Bray Wyatt's still out or not, but I don't believe it for a second. I think it's a money issue. And if it's not a money issue, it's a push fatigue. It's a good excuse to get Roman Reigns off television. So the fatigue of the audience will sit down on him. So when he does come back, whether he gets a extremely positive, or extremely negative response, it's better to get no response. Because there for a little bit, Reigns' pops or his general crowd reaction has been just kind of meh. Not like, I hate you or I really, really love you. It's just been like, oh, it's Roman Reigns. Yeah, and also WWE's losing money. I mean, they're fucking desperate. And they're desperate when Triple H is hanging out at the IWC or whatever it was, going to an independent show. And speaking of that, Chris Jericho needed that match against Kenny Omega. Totally did. I'll tell you why he needed it. Because to me, Chris Jericho used to be my favorite wrestler of all time. I will never forget his debut, Y2J, on Raw, and that back and forth he had against The Rock. You know, there's rumors. You know, everyone says the internet ruined wrestling, but no, dirt sheets did, dirt magazines did back in the day too. We all knew it was going to be Jericho. You know, when he debuted on Raw, amazing. Had a triple powerbomb finisher along with the Walls of Jericho, dope. Became the first unified champion ever. Then he leaves. Then he comes back, and he loses every fucking match that he ever wrestles. I know he's there to put people over, but here's the thing about doing that: you have to win a few matches so this quote unquote young crowd can know who you are. Because if you don't, you're just some old jobber that comes back and loses. So that's what knocks him down a peg. So every time he comes back, you might have a cool jacket and a list, but who cares? None of that shit matters if he doesn't win. He needs momentum. He needs that one title push. He needs to be in the heavyweight title picture at some point. He needs to win like one or two matches. I don't know. That's what kills it. That's what kills Jericho for me sometimes. But yeah, he needed that. Because Kenny Omega is a hot shit. Kenny Omega has been the hot shit for years now. He's my favorite wrestler alive. Probably might be the best ever. I don't know. I won't go as far as say that, but dude, I love that guy. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I love the fact that they're doing this. I guess just because it will get a lot more American eyes on Wrestle Kingdom. Because the only reason there was American eyes on it was it last year? Was that last year? Okada, Omega. It might have been year before. I don't know. Yeah, the only time America's even heard about it was after the fact. And to tell you the truth, like Kenny Omega is Canadian. The people keep forgetting that. So if you could put two, American wrestlers at a Wrestle Kingdom show, they're going to get at least some of that American market, more so than they already have. Because I think even the most seasoned, jaded WWE fans, at least I watch New Japan. I know Kevin Cameron does. I know a few other guys at WrestleManiacs do. Shout out to WrestleManiacs, by the way. I might seem like a bitter piece of shit when I talk about wrestling, but I still watch the shit, still care about it. I don't know, I have this conversation with Alan a lot. Like, we hate wrestling, but that seems like that's our go-to conversation about 90% of the time, so we can't hate it that much. It's kind of like if you have a shitty football team in your hometown, you hate them, but you love them, because that's your thing, that's your talking point. I don't know. Just real quick, I don't want this podcast going too long. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom. It's kind of crazy how they completely trumped everything that's happening for Survivor Series this year. I don't know. I still like watching the Big Four of WWE, because if I'm going to get my $10 worth of pay-per-views, might as well get 4 pay-per-views out of it, at least the Big Four. Anyways, just a quick music note. The new Weezer album came out. Just in case, newsflash, anyone doesn't know this, I'm a Weezer fanboy, love Weezer. Got into them when I was in middle school, and listened to them throughout high school because they kept releasing albums. It's one of those things, one of those times where you go to look back to the music that you should listen to when you was young, and it doesn't suck. So you create even more of a deeper bond for it. I love Weezer. That's what I'm getting at. I know it's not for everybody. Sometimes it's too sugary sweet, but I don't care. I love that kind of stuff. I don't know. I love all kinds of genres of music, but I like power pop. Love it. But yeah, Pacific Daydream came out last week. I think it was last week. Getting these dates confused. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't hate it, but Weezer has this knack of releasing something that sounds like the Blue Album and or Pinkerton. Then everybody wants that for the rest of their career, but they don't do that. So they've done that every time. I don't know. This album is very polished. The songs, I mean, they sound nothing like the White Album or the Blue Album, or actually has more in relation to the Green Album as far as mood goes. It doesn't hit all the Weezer tropes. There's no big, huge choruses, and there's no solos that follow the chorus of the song. Those are two things are missing from it. But yeah, it's like how I explain the album to people is it's like Gratitude without the party, and Make Believe without the hits. If you're not a Weezer fan, you're not going to like it. If you're what do they call those people? The 2 album people, you're definitely not going to like it. But, if you just like Weezer in general, you think it's all right. Right now, it hasn't really grown on me yet because it's still pretty new. Gave it 2 listens. I didn't hate it, but there's only a few songs I can quote right now that are awesome, like Weekend Woman and QB Blitz and Sweet Mary. Those 3 songs stick out as being really good. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's been about 30 minutes or so. This is the Tuesday Morning Podcast. I like to keep up with it, but fuck Tuesdays and fuck you.